What's up, you guys? So I'm here on my boy Sam's channel, here to bring you guys an updated 40 card INFERNOID Lair of Darkness deck. Shout out to you, Sam. Thank you for letting me upload this deck profile for you, bro. This is a deck that got a lot of hype and then totally just fell by the wayside. It was kind of expected. You guys already know the Lair of Darkness structure deck had a lot of hype behind it, thinking it would bring INFERNOIDs back into the light, you know, back into the meta. And it hasn't done anything. It hasn't proven itself really worthy, I guess, in any of the regionals or any of the main events that have been going on. I know people have been testing it at locals and, you know, just for fun and just online. And I feel that the Lair of Darkness engine is going to be, you know, kind of splashed with Brandish. It could even work with INFERNOID Brandish. There's going to be all these different types of decks that will be coming out eventually. But this is a regular, just like standard, like 40 card build for those of you that are trying to build Lair of Darkness INFERNOIDs. And I'll just get into it. It's pretty simple. You know, it gets to the main points that INFERNOIDs want to do every game. And yeah, we'll just get into it. So again, 40 cards, not 60. I did have a 60 card build, but we already know grass is gone. So we're back to 40, but here's what we're playing. Those of you that aren't familiar with INFERNOIDs, I'll explain it as I go along, but we've got 3 Decatron. He's your main guy, your main normal summon. Makes it to where just summon him, he copies any INFERNOID, gains their level, gains their effect. Cards are just solid. You bring them out off of Void Feast, making it copy Anonku and Deviati. Then you can negate a spell or trap. You can negate a monster effect. It's just crazy. This card does everything for the deck, just as your main normal summon. Then you play 2 copies each of Anonku and Deviati. You need the big guys. You need them at 2 each because one is your Dark Hole / Raigeki and the other one is your Heavy Storm. Deviati is superior, in my opinion, to Anonku just for its ability to just like Heavy Storm the board and then it does negate a monster effect. But I've noticed now with more emphasis on Brandish and all the spells they play, Anonku might actually gain a lot more value when using Decatron because you're able to negate and banish the spell that they activate. So being able to negate and banish Startup Engage is really important. Plus, Deviati is just cool because you can just wipe the board clean, which I really like as far as, you know, back row heavy decks go. You know, if we see any stun decks or anything like that, it's just really solid. And you need them also to send off Void Imagination to summon Tierra. So that's why you gotta play 2 copies of each. Just really, really solid. They're like the best INFERNOIDs. Then we played the little INFERNOIDs. These are like your workhorses of the deck. They're the ones that just do everything and, you know, bait out your opponent's hand traps. In back row, you play 2 copies of Harmadic, 2 copies of Petrulia. Harmadic pops monsters, Petrulia pops back row. They're just really solid. You can use them in tandem with Decatron to make Omegas, another level 8 Synchros. You can also use them to make, you know, your XYZs. We do play pretty much, we do play XYZs, Synchros, and Link Monsters and Fusions. We play like all the different types in our extra deck. So these cards are just really versatile. They do what they need to do. I wouldn't play more than 2 of each though, because you really don't want to play too many INFERNOIDs. They really can brick by themselves, but you know, you have you know, your engines to get them out, and you want them mostly in the grave. And then I do play 1 copy of Antra. This is like a little different. I know some lists don't actually play this card, and the main reason I play this card, not only for its effect, a lot of people forget about its effect. You know, first off, it has a 2000 defense. That's nothing to really laugh at. It's not great, but at least you know, it's a good wall of defense. Plus, its ability to spin back any card is really important. I think a lot of people forget that this is a way to out cards like Anti-Spell Fragrance and out like any floodgates outside of like Imperial Iron Wall, because you summon it and then you just bounce the card away. So that can be really important against certain matchups, especially against floodgates that can lock you out of the game. So I really like this card. Plus, you use it, you send it with Decatron, and then you summon a Harmadic and you make Dante, which is just another way to get cards into the grave. So that's why we play it. Just 1 though. I wouldn't play more than that. That's it for all the little INFERNOIDs. And then for like the really just like standard INFERNOIDs, we play 2 copies of Cydamus and 1 copy of Intondal. Originally, I didn't want to play Intondal, but then I realized with Void Feast, you need to be able to have more than just your standard play of summoning out Sajet and double Decatron. You do have the ability to summon 1 Cydamus and 1 Decatron because it'll equal level 8 when coming out. And absolute worst case scenario, like to where all your INFERNOIDs are gone for some reason, you can just summon Intondal off of Void Feast, so it still gains some value. Plus, its double attack isn't terrible, but it's definitely not. It's probably, in my opinion, one of the weakest INFERNOIDs. But Cydamus is the best one. Some people play 3. I could see, like, if the deck had more space, like, I would definitely play 3. This is, like, the best one. Just its non-targeting banishing. It's so important to get around problematic cards. Like, you just attack 1 problematic card and then banish the other. I think that's just really solid. So, this is definitely the best one. Cydamus, for sure. And then, of course, the 1 Sajet. You just pray to God you don't draw it. I mean, it's not a horrible card, but you really don't want to draw it because you want to summon it off Void Feast. The standard play, as you guys know, is Void Feast for double Decatron, making one Noku, one a Deviati, and then summoning Sajet, so you have a 2400 body as well. And they're all DD Crows, so that's another thing. They're all DD Crows, which you guys already know about Infernoids. That's why it works so well with the Lair of Darkness, just because of being able to tribute your opponent's monsters instead of your own is pretty crazy. And then for the Darkness engine, we play 3 Arima. It gets your field spell. It gets, its ability is, you summon it, and then you can tribute a dark monster and then draw a card, or you can search. That's pretty good. I like it a lot, just because for what it does. It has dual effects, and I've always noticed cards that have dual effects are pretty good, so it's in there, standard. You need to get to your field spell. That's kind of the whole focal point of the deck outside of the Infernoids. And at the last minute, believe it or not, I opted to play just one of the big guy. I'll be personally honest, those of you that have been on my channel before and watched my Infernoid LAIR deck profiles, I really don't like this card. I feel the card is just not that good. I don't play any of the other Lair of Darkness cards. I felt that, like, the problem with these is they kind of brick. Now, the thing with the big guy is that, again, it's not my favorite card. I really don't want to draw it, but it's a card that, we do play cards that facilitate us to mill, and you can discard it for, for Void Vanishment, so it has that, I guess, application. But the thing is that there have been games where, you tribute off a card, and then you summon it, and then it's really hard for your opponent to answer. But another thing I found out is that this card in the mirror is insane, because the only way to out it is with itself. It can't be tributed, it can't really be targeted or anything like that. So the only way the opponent really gets around this card is with their own copy. So this card does cause problems for players, but I'll definitely tell you guys right now, if you do not like it in testing, if you test this build and you do not like Diablos, you do not have to play it. This card is just in here because I wanted to include it. It is part of the deck, and it also does come up in some situations. So that's what we decided to play, but I would definitely not play more than one. I do not like that card at all at more than one. So yeah. And then just hand traps, because hand traps are still really important in this format. I'm playing 2 copies of Ash and 2 copies of Droll. And I'm going to tell you right now, Ash has always been good. Ash will always be good. There are so many cards this card can hit. I don't really need to talk about this. It's just necessary against so many decks. But Droll and Lockbird. Now, Droll and Lockbird is really going to come into the light again this format. I think a lot of people, were so on Ogre last format, and then as the format was ending, people realized, oh man, Droll is so good against Pendulum Magicians. Well, Droll is really good against Brandish, and it's really good against Gokis. Gokis are literally walking Rotas, that Rota on Rota on Rota. You guys already know every time they link away, they search and stuff. Well, you Droll them, their combo stops. They're not able to keep going, and I think that's really, really important in this format. Gokis have been doing so well in the regional circuit so far that I think a lot of people forget that, everyone's focusing on Brandish, and this card's also really good against Brandish. They just go start up engage, you Droll them, even if they go into Kagari, they can't even, they can get back their engage or whatever, but they can't use it that turn. If they go into the water one, they can't search. So, I mean, Droll has just been really solid, like, in testing, and I feel that this is definitely going to be a staple hand trap. I feel this is what people are going to be playing over Ogre this format, because Ogre is fine. Ogre has applications against Alter Guys and other decks like that, but I feel overall Droll is just really, really solid in tandem with Ash to, combat Brandish and combat Gokis and anything else we get in this format. Again, this is just up to, this is a personal preference, so whatever you guys want to play for hand traps, you can, but I definitely suggest that you guys do make room for Droll. If not in your main deck, then definitely in your side deck. And that's it for the monsters. Again, I'll explain, like, I would actually play 3 Droll, 3 Ash if I wasn't playing 2 cards in here, which one of them is the big Diablos Dragon, so I'll tell you guys about that if you guys want to add, like, more hand traps or more copies of Droll or Ash. But that's it for the monsters. For the spells, of course, the namesake of the deck, Lair of Darkness, makes everything dark. Makes it to where you can just tribute your opponent's monsters for your effects. So basically all your DD Crows, not only are you tributing your opponent's monster, but you're DD Crowing them, and they lose a lot of advantage, and you just, they fall behind as you, continue to climb your tree and win. So, card's really solid. Then 3 Void Vanishment. Card's just necessary. You need it, to get to your Void Feast, to get to your Void Imagination. Again, one good interaction is being able to discard the damn dragon off this. So, card's just necessary. And then the 3 Void Imagination. Now, I'll be honest, at one point, I had this card at 2. And the reason was because True Draco. If you guys saw Sam's profile, we did the same exact thing where 2 Void Imagination was all we needed, because the problem was Draco never goes into the extra deck. So, the problem was you draw Void Imagination, that's 3 dead cards in your deck. Any copy you draw is just a blank. So originally I had it at 2. Now that the format has changed, Draco definitely is not a dead deck, but you're going to see a lot more extra deck oriented decks. You're going to see a lot more link monsters. You're going to see a lot more stuff like that. So being able to resolve Void Imagination is insane. It just, you know, you summon Tierra, you send a total of like 6 Infernoids, you send the 3 Elder Entities, you blow up stuff. This card resolves, you basically win. Everyone calls it Shaddoll Fusion on crack, and for good reason. So this card's just really solid, and definitely I would play 3, you know, going forward, because we're going to be going against more extra deck based decks. And then just for the, like, I call them the power 1-ofs. I am playing the Reasoning, the Monster Gate, the 1-for-1, and then one thing I did play in my 40 card build on my channel, and I am playing again, is the 1 Terraforming. I'll just talk about these real quick. So Reasoning, you guys already know. Believe it or not, I wasn't playing it before. Everyone told me I was crazy to not play it. The thing is like, I mean, it really comes down to a game of chance, and that's what Reasoning really is the opponent's gonna, you know, smart opponent's gonna call 1 or 4, and the only thing is you might hit your hand traps. This is the only thing I don't like about it, but I mean, I guess it's, you know, high risk, high reward, you know, stuff like that. So Reasoning, I feel, does have that application, plus it can get the big guy in the grave, which I love. Like, if they call 1 or 4 and you hit the big guy, I mean, okay, then, you know, everything was going for you that game. But this is a signature card in Infernoid, so I felt like I kind of was doing an injustice to the deck not playing it. Then Monster Gate, this card's insane. You tribute your opponent's monster, and it's just like, yep. It's just like, yep, you tribute till you can summon something, so this card's nuts. 1-for-1 to get our Decatron. Some lists don't play this, but I feel it's necessary. Like, even though you want the Decatrons to come out of their deck, if you don't open Decatron, you need being able to go 1-for-1, bring it out is just really good. You know, could set up a negate or whatever you need to do to climb the tree, climb the link tree or whatever. I just really like this card. I feel it's necessary. And then the Terraforming is because with 3 Lair of Darkness and 3 Arima, you know, you can, you know, search your field, but I like the ability to just use the Terraforming to search the field and then use Arima for its own effect. Being able to tribute an opponent's monster and draw a card is pretty good. You can use it as link fodder, you can use it to make your XYZs, etc. So I thought that by playing 1 Terraforming, this makes it to where I'm playing an extra copy of Lair of Darkness without having to use Arima's effect to search it. So that's why I'm playing the 1 Terraforming. Again, if I wasn't playing the 1 Terraforming and the 1 Big Dragon, you could play another copy of Joel and Ash or 2 more hand traps, but this is just up for personal preference again on the list. And then, of course, the only trap is 3 Void Feast. Don't need to explain it. This card just wins you the game if you resolve it most of the time, because, you know, if you have a hand trap in hand, you have double Decatrons to jet up. I mean, you're negating whatever your opponent does, and you're DD Crowing them. And if Lair of Darkness is up, you're using their monsters against them, which is insane. Like, you have Lair of Darkness up, you have the double Decatrons, and they activate a spell or whatever, and they have a monster up. You can just tribute their monster to negate and banish that card. So that's nuts. So Void Feast is just a staple for the deck. But that's it for the main deck. It's 40 cards. So I'm just going to go on to the extra deck. My extra deck hasn't changed at all for this deck. I'm sure with the new Nightmare cards you can add stuff. There's one card we would definitely play, and it would be Nightmare Mermaid. And the only reason Sam and I talked about this, the reason why I don't have it in this list yet, is we only use it if they give us Ibli. Basically, you just turn into the mermaid. That's basically it. But yeah, side note, so play Mermaid if you need to or whatever. You can cut something in here if you don't want to play this exact extra deck. But this is what I've been playing. The 1 Tierra and the 3 Elder Entity. I guess you call it. But yeah, this is the combo. Summoning it, sending 3 Elder Entities. I know some people play 2. You have the option to do that too if you want to cut this for the Mermaid or for like another Nightmare card, etc. But I like the ability to just blow up 3 cards, summon the guy, your 6 Infernoids in the grave, your 3 Elder Entities just popped a bunch of stuff, and then you got a 3400 beater with 3600 defense. It's pretty nuts. This has just been standard. This is what Japan had played back in the day, and we're still playing it, so yeah. But if you don't want to play 3 NTSS, you don't have to, but I like 3. Just being able to blow up 3 cards is crazy. That's it for your fusions. For your synchros, we got 1 Scarlight, 1 Omega, and 1 Black Rose. You have the tuners, you have the ability to make them. Being able to blow up the field is nuts, you just steal games. Omega, you guys already know, one of the best cards of Infernoids, being able to recycle back banished Infernoids. And Scarlight is insane because Scarlight makes it to where you can just, blow up a board, steal a game. It's huge. Like, it does a lot of things. People were playing Beals over this before because of Masterpiece, but now the Masterpiece is banned. You have the ability to just play this. And it's just huge. And it'll steal you games. Trust me, in any deck where you can make a level 8 Synchro, this is one of the best ones you can make because it's added removal and burn damage. It's nuts. Then for our XYZs, we play the 1 Minerva, the 1 Tornado, and the 1 Dante. So Tornado is just good versatility. You guys already know one of the best rank 4s. Just being able to hit back row is really important. These two pretty much serve the same purpose, basically just to mill, and that's honestly it. Like, we don't play any light torrents, so we're not going to be drawing any cards, we're not going to be popping any cards, but they just add that added versatility that you need sometimes, and then you can just link away with them, so they're pretty solid. Dante's really good too, like I said, for that play with the Decatron, sending the Entra and summoning the Harmadic, popping a monster, then making Dante is pretty good, so it's just for added versatility in the deck. That's it for the XYZs, and then for the links. So for the links, I play 3 Link 2s. I play 1 Dual Little Chimera, 1 Master King Archfiend, and 1 Underclock Taker. You guys already know Underclock Taker's been around for a while. Card's crazy. Being able to lower a monster and then just punch over it is nuts. Now these two are pretty simple. They're just basic Link 2s. You use Dual Little Chimera with 2 fires, and you use Master King Archfiend with 2 fiends. So this one is for when you don't have Lair of Darkness up, and this is for when you do have Lair of Darkness up. This effect is irrelevant. Don't read it. Apparently it sucks. I don't even read it, to be honest, but these are just versatile because they only point to you, and then being able to, you know, boost your monsters with this, and being able to just create more pressure and put more extra deck monsters on the field if need be. And the links take away the level cap on Infernoid, so they're just really important. Then the only Link 3 I play is the 1 Decode. You can play like one of the Nightmare guys if you want. I just had this in here just because it's added beat stick ability, 3300. You know, it's just a way to go for OTKs when it comes up. It comes up sometimes, but again, you can change this out if need be. And then the only Link 4 I play is the 1 Borreload. I play it over Saryuja. Saryuja just hasn't come up enough. Borreload comes up a lot. And even though Masterpiece is gone, Borreload is still an insane card. Like, don't think you need to cut this from your deck because Masterpiece is banned. But yeah, that's it, you guys. That is the 40 card build. This is just, again, we're waiting for the Brandish cards to come out. What it'll do for this deck, I guess time will tell. Again, the deck hasn't done anything yet. It hasn't performed yet, but I feel like that, you know, you never want to give up on a deck. You want to give it the ability to, you know, get some time to be played, and I really like it. It's just a really just fun side deck that I have. And I'm sure there are improvements that can always be made on these decks. Those of you that are more versed with Infernoids than I am, or again, if you want to add more hand traps, you know, depending on how the format shapes up. But it's just something you can play. Just get your feet wet with Infernoids and the Lair of Darkness cards, like how they work. And I'm telling you guys, once you get the engine rolling, once you start tributing off your opponent's monsters for your effects, and then DD Crow them, and they're losing 2 cards a turn, it's pretty insane. But yeah, that's all I got to say, you guys. I hope you guys will check out my channel. You guys already know. SimplySlimYGO. Be sure to check us out. Team Deck Deals, you already know. Thanks again, Sam. Thank you for the deck profile. Thank you for the opportunity to upload, bro. He's on his way to 150K, so we'll watch him get there. I know he hasn't hit 140K yet, but he'll hit it, then he'll get to 150K, so it'll be awesome. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the deck profile. Hope to see you guys over on my channel, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.
I feel like Usain in the cheetah print. Talk fresh game, I don't need a minute. R.I.P. the game, I need a minute. Okay, let's proceed with it. I'm in the house, got the deed with it. These bozos always sneak this, and they taking shots. I'm a key with it. Like, no, this league business.